Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Our guest in studio today is the president of the Miller Media Group, Mr. Randal J. Miller. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Seth.
Thanks for coming out and talking with us today. And we're going to continue our conversations on the 75th anniversary Gala for WHOW. 75 years on the air. We're going to celebrate Saturday, November 12th with a social hour at 5:30, dinner at 6:30, a special WHOW video presentation at 7:30. Country music rising star Gracia Harrison will perform some of her music that night as well. It's going to be a night of fun and food and just celebrating WHOW.
At the Clinton Country Club.
At the Clinton. Wow, holy cow. Totally missed that. At the Clinton Country Club. Very good. Our neighbor to the north.
Neighbor to the north. And the best thing about our night, other than we're celebrating 75 years of WHOW, is that we're paying for everything that night. We're paying for the food, for the entertainment, for the venue, for the sheet cake that'll have the WHOW 75th anniversary logo that you'll be served. We're paying for everything, and that enables all the ticket sales to then go between and will be split between two great organizations that are both in need right now. And one of those is the Clinton Neighborhood Care Center No Fee Grocery. You've had Cody Monkman on the air talking about the budget deficit that they have. 50% of all ticket sales will go to their no-fee grocery at the Neighborhood Care Center, and the other 50% will go to the Clinton High School Student Activity Fund. And this is so that kids that are in high school that can't afford some of the extra stuff, backpacks, that sort of thing, can get the help that they need to have a fulfilling high school career, high school years. So all of the ticket sales are going to be split between those two nonprofits. We have 52 tickets sold. Friday at 5 o'clock is the deadline. We've got room for 150. So we've got room for lots more people to help these two nonprofit organizations be able to provide services in our community. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, absolutely. And I figure the closer we get to Friday, the more ticket sales that we'll have, because
I hope so.
That's just the way it is. You know, you get closer to an event, and that's when things start to sell. So, but Randy, as it relates to this 75th celebration, of course, it's, you know, you've been with WHOW for a long time, but, you know, in that time, I'm sure, you know, you knew a lot about it beforehand. What have you come to learn about this radio station in your years here in Clinton now?
Legacy. Legacy. That word just continues to drive home with, and I have worked on the video itself. I worked about 4.5 hours just on the audio and pictures, and then about another hour we did a Zoom interview with Wayne R. Miller, no relation, but I wish I was, who at age 13 walked into WHOW on the second floor of the Cannonball department store in 1967 and just started bumming around. Never had a job, but at the radio station, but he would go help set up remotes with the engineers and all this sort of thing. And all of a sudden, I think 3 years in, somebody didn't show up for a shift on a weekend, and naturally he was there. And the guy who's trying to leave his shift that Sunday afternoon calls up the general manager and says, well, so-and-so can't come, or he's sick or whatever. This Miller kid he's hanging around here. Do we want to use him? And Bill Veach was the general manager at that time. And Bill goes, yeah, put him on here.
Yeah.
So,
child labor laws are very different back in the day, apparently.
Well, they put him on the air once, but then he ended up having to go to the school district and jump through some hoops to make sure that it was legal for him to be on the air, even at 16. But that was his first air shift, and that's part of what he's going to share in the 75th anniversary video was his years. He has been affiliated with WHOW for 55 of the 75 years it's been on the air, starting at age 13 in 1967, being on the air then coming back later on as an engineer for the Livacies, who owned it from 1950 until 2003,
Mm-hmm.
And then he worked for the Brady's that bought the stations, WHOW and what used to be WHOW FM 95.9, and it's now WEZC. They put the stations back on the air after being off almost a year in fall of 03.
Mm-hmm.
And Wayner helped them get the stations back on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I bought it from the Brady's in 07, Wayner was involved in everything that you folks that are watching on Facebook and YouTube, and those of you listening across Central Illinois, everything that is in this studio and in this building from a transmitting standpoint is a result of Wayne R. Miller's work.
Right.
And he truly loves this place. And he has put his heart and soul into it for 55 of the 75 years. And that's why I felt like it was important to have some video segments of him talking about his years at HOW. But long before that, and I think we've talked about this before, some of the names that I have found that we're going to highlight and be a part of the 75th anniversary video. Some of these folks will, the names people will recognize: Frank Jennings, Mary Jane Jackson, Jim Williams. Uncle Jim Williams was his air name on the air, according to Wayner.
Okay.
Jack Carson, Bill Wilson, Joe Cronzo, Alonzo Noonan. And that was the engineer that Wayner kind of palled around with. And the next thing you knew, he was carrying equipment to and fro for every ball game and remote that they did. Charles Presley Jr., Sonny Slater, Bob Moore, Jim Crowell. Who else we got here? Uncle Johnny Barton. There's a lot of Uncle Johnny Barton in our WHOW 75th anniversary video.
We can't go anywhere without people remembering Uncle Johnny Barton.
No. And I visited with our station manager, Jared White, this morning. And when he was at the Greater Peoria Farm Show last year at our booth there where we were broadcasting, they saw the sign, WHOW, the Big 1520, and tons of people were coming by saying, well, yeah, that was the station that Uncle Johnny Barton was on. So, yeah, that name is synonymous with WHOW. So it's going to be, Uncle Johnny will be front and center on our 75th anniversary video.
Awesome. Anything else in the 75th video, Randy, you want to highlight? Anything? And by the way, how's that coming together?
Well, I just got the email from the folks that are putting it together. They think they've got it done. Awesome. And it turned out to be just shy of an hour. And I tried making it less than that, but it's kind of hard to put 75 years into, a short period of time.
Right.
So between all of the audio stuff, and we have a lot of it, and pictures, and the interview with Wayner, which is right smack in the middle of the 75th anniversary video, it's right at an hour.
Well, you got to give people their money's worth.
Well, and I think we will, because the names that are in this video are just amazing. A lot of the bands, Bob Moore, Fred Bear, and the Sangamon Ramblers. Sonny Slater, not only was he on the air, but he performed. The Village Playboys, Ann Ward, Chuck Rich, the singing used car salesman. Many of these folks had regular jobs during the week, but they were country music singers or they were in bands, and they would perform live on WHOW. They would haul all their equipment up to the studio that had a piano in it and a big boom microphone right smack dab in the middle of the room. And they would do their 15 or 30 minutes of picking and grinning, because back then WHOW was country, western, and bluegrass. And that's how they got their gigs at the VFW or at the local tavern or at a local social function. And they would do those gigs as side hustles because they had a full-time job during the week. But that's how they became popular. And many of the WHOW announcers that worked at the station in the 50s and 60s also knew how to play and knew how to sing. So if they had a 15-minute segment that wasn't filled, guess what? The general manager at the time would just run all over the building and go, hey, we got 15 minutes to fill. And they'd go into that room, have the mic turned on, and ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Corn Belt Country Style. And they just sing and pick for 15 minutes until the next band showed up.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. So how did you come to get a lot of this stuff? Like, was it already here? Did you have to seek it out?
I had to seek it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how'd you find it? I mean,
Well, in the 15 years that I've owned WHOW, we have done various anniversary shows, the 60th anniversary, the 70th anniversary. I think we did 65, and that was from Weldon Springs, where some of the folks that used to be in the various bands, they just did a day of picking and grinning, and we broadcast several hours of that. Jared had a ball broadcasting it that day. But in the 15 years that I've owned WHOW, a lot of this history has been brought to me saying, hey, here's a piece of history that you need to hang on to, because when I got here, there really wasn't any of it. And I'm so thankful for folks all over Central Illinois, particularly in the Clinton area, that have shared with me booklets and pictures. And I even found a couple of CDs online with the Sangamon Valley Boys. And we feature them in this video as well as part of the history of WHOW. And there's some Uncle Johnny Barton cuts of him doing shows with them. So it's taken 15 years to assemble all this, and I think it was your suggestion, or maybe somebody else's, to actually bring that memorabilia and show it that night. And yes, we are going to have a table of memorabilia highlighting the 75 years of WHOW.
Awesome. Randy, I look at the clock. We need a timeout. Where again, highlight the evening, everything that we need to know. And again, deadline for tickets is Friday. So how about those things?
Yep. 75th anniversary banquet for WHOW is at the Clinton Country Club on Saturday, November 12th. It is a week from this Saturday. The social hours at 5:30, dinner 6:30, program 7:30 at the Clinton Country Club. And tickets are available at the Clinton High School office, and they are $50 for a single ticket, or a table of 8 for $360. The meal is an 8-ounce butterfly applewood pork chop, salad with dressing, baked potatoes, Southern style green beans, rolls, and a piece of the WHOW 75th anniversary cake. And that will all be plated and served at your table. We're going to make this a very special night.
Now, where do folks go for tickets?
Clinton High School office.
All right.
Through 5 o'clock Friday afternoon. We've got to turn a number into the caterer first thing next Monday morning.
All right, easy enough. Randal J. Miller, president of the Miller Media Group, our guest in studio. We talk more about the 75th anniversary of WHOW next.
WHOW.
Are you a friend of agriculture? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We're giving a $500 Friends of Ag discount to anyone that orders a new Chevrolet or Buick to be built just for you this month. Are you a friend of ag? You are if you're a member of any ag organization, employed by any ag-related business, including research, inputs, manufacturing, sales, and marketing, and of course, ag education. Come in, order yours today. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
A sports injury takes the fun out of sports any time of year. Hi, I'm Paul Scarron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. All of our PT folks are trained in lots of specialties, just like a bigger facility, to get you back in the game from a sports injury, or if you're in need of any other physical therapy your doctor prescribes. We offer quality, compassionate care close to home, so don't go out of town. Come see us at the Warner Hospital and Health Services Physical Therapy Department, and we'll get you back in the game.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW. WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show is streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Randal J. Miller is the president of the Miller Media Group. And this morning, we continue to highlight the WHW 75th anniversary celebration coming up on Saturday, November 12th at the Clinton Country Club. And Randy, as we talk for this morning, of course, let's re-highlight the fact that ticket sales from this event benefit two nonprofits in the community. How about that for us?
Yes, and this is why we're on the air this morning appealing for you to get your tickets by 5 o'clock Friday, because all of the money from the ticket sales, we're footing the bill for the whole night. We're paying for the venue, the food, the entertainment, the video we're going to show, paying for everything, the cake we're going to serve, 75th anniversary cake, so that we can turn all of the ticket sales into a donation, which we will split. All the proceeds from ticket sales are going to be split between the Clinton High School Student Activity Fund and the Clinton Neighborhood Care No-Fee Grocery. And as I talked earlier in the show, Cody Monkman with the Neighborhood Care Center has been on our air talking about the fact they've got a huge hole in their budget. And this will be part of the way to help them plug that budget, because there are people in need. There are more people in need than ever before. You would think coming out of the pandemic it would lessen, but I can tell you in both of my markets, both here in Clinton as well as in my Taylorville market, the food pantries, no-fee grocery shopping centers are all telling me that there are more people using their services now than ever. So half of the ticket sales are going to the Neighborhood Care Center for no-free grocery shopping, and the other half are going to the Clinton High School Student Activity Fund. And again, when families are struggling with inflation and high gas prices and all the rest, high school kids many times don't get the needs. They always have wants, but they don't get the needs. And they probably never get the wants, but many times they don't get the needs either. And that hurts their ability to learn. And these dollars will go to help those students be able to learn. And Jerry Wayne at the high school has just been phenomenal to work with, not only in focusing on the Student Activity Fund and helping students that need those kind of things bought for them. But Missy Copel has just been tremendous. She's the gal that's selling the tickets at the high school office and has been great to work with. Everybody at the high school has just been super, and my congratulations and thanks to them for their efforts in getting these tickets sold. And again, we got 52 tickets sold. We got room for 150, and we've got, what is today, Wednesday? We have 3 days to sell some more tickets, and all of the ticket sales are going to be split between these two local nonprofits, and it's going to be a fun night.
So come one, come all to this event, and get your tickets at the Clinton High School office, and that deadline again is Friday at 5 o'clock. Randy, as we talk about this event and just the kind of ins and outs, talk about how the evening is going to work, and what it's going to look like for folks that want to come out.
Social hour will be at 5:30, and it'll be an hour from 5:30 to 6:30, and whatever type of refreshment you want will be available at that time. The Clinton Country Club is going to have an open bar to where if you want something a little more stronger, you can get that as well. And we'll have the memorabilia out there on a table to where you can see a lot of the stuff that we're going to be featuring in the video. But that's 5:30 to 6:30. Gracia will be performing. Gracia Harrison will be performing during social hour. 6:30. We'll hit the pause button for just a moment to thank everybody for coming. Make sure everybody gets seated. We'll have Cody's going to give the invocation, and then dinner will be served. And then approximately plus or minus 7:30, and Gracia will also be performing during dinner too. 7:30 plus or minus. I'll do a little intro, and then we will show the WHOW 75th anniversary video. And it will be plus or minus right at an hour. And I'm hoping to get people out of there by 8:30. That's kind of the goal, depending on when we get dinner served and get it all cleaned up and that sort of thing.
I venture a guess you're going to have a lot of people coming up and telling you stories and want
I
to
can't wait.
talk about the old days. I mean,
I can't wait.
I told you our county board chair, Terry Ferguson, called me up the other day asking how he could get a ticket. And he was telling me he's kind of got a connection to the station I don't think you're aware of. So I look look forward to him telling you about that.
You know, I can't wait to hear the stories, because these stories are a part of the station's history, part of the station's legacy. And I'm just thankful to be along for the ride these past 15 years. Clinton has been so good to me, so good to my family, so good to the staff. And we could not do what we do if it weren't for the support, not only the listener support that we've had from Clinton and DeWitt County, but our local businesses that see our media platforms as a means for them to put people through their door.
Sure. Very good. Well, Randy, I've got about a minute left with you, sir. Again, just highlight the evening and all the details we need to know.
Friday at 5 is deadline to get your tickets purchased for our 75th anniversary banquet, gala banquet at the Clinton Country Club. Saturday, November 12th, social hour 5:30, dinner 6:30, program 7:30, and tickets are $50 or table of 8 is for $360. All ticket sales will be split between the Clinton Neighborhood Care Center, No Free Grocery, and the Clinton High School Student Activity Fund. Get your tickets now. We've got 52 tickets sold, and every penny of ticket sales are going to be split between these two nonprofits. It's going to be a fun night, a great meal. Gracia Harrison is a wonderful performer, and we'll cap the night with the showing of our WHOW 75th anniversary video.
How do folks find more information on the event, Randy?
We have a link on DeWittDailyNews.com. If you just click on WHOW 75th anniversary, it's a link, and it's got a PDF showing the same information we've talked about this morning.
Fantastic. Anything else, Randy, before we let you go?
Nope. Thank you, Seth.
All right. Thank you. That is Randy Miller. He is our station president, and he, of course, owner of the Miller Media Group, highlighting the WHOW 75th anniversary gala coming up on Saturday, November 12th. And again, that ticket deadline is on Friday at 5 o'clock. Get those at Clinton High School. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way. A look at local news and weather as well on WHOW.
WHOW.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in